Hey, Mount Hood territory, it is a beautiful fall day, and I couldn't be more excited to bring you this very special Mount Hood territory live. Special for two reasons. One, this is our 50th, I've been practicing that all week and I screwed it up, 50th live video, and we are sharing it here at a very awesome place, King's Raven Winery. We're outside of Oregon City, and I found out today that actually they've got a bit more of an impressive milestone than my 50 videos. This has been a farm. You guys are celebrating 75 years of
farming grapes. The initial idea was to just grow grapes and sell to wineries. But
why do that when you can make it yourself?
Well, yeah, jumping in the game has been a lot of fun and a neat experience. I didn't actually go to school to make wine or grow grapes, but I feel like that saying in the music business of it takes 15 years to become an overnight success it rings true with wine too. Here we are 18 years and I feel like we've finally landed on the map. We've got some great wines for you to try today, and I'm excited to have you guys. Thanks for coming today.
Well, I'm always excited to try wines. That's definitely no secret to anybody, but yours especially, because you have a great philosophy when it comes to winemaking. And one of the things that we kind of exemplify that here, we are in front of vines that are actually growing the grapes that are going to be made right here otherwise. I mean, it starts here, it's grown here, it's created here. Everything's done right here on the 30 some odd acres. So, I mean, you guys, they're taking the whole local thing to a new level.
Fully estate, yeah, so we grow everything that we make here. And in fact, we do indigenous yeast fermentations, a lot of actual grape foot stomping, and a classic French barrel aging program. So none of our reds, leave the cellar before they're at least 2 to 3 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so I said these are some grapes that are going to be turned into wine here before too long. Which grapes are we in front of right now?
Here we have the Marshall Fauche, so
they're about ready to be picked. It looks like
they are. In fact, this particular row we make into a barrel of port every year.
Oh, okay.
And port of Marshall Fauche is quite popular. Fauche is really kind of characterized by a strong blackberry note. So Oregon is well known for the Marionberry, and blackberry fits right in that whole Northwest lifestyle.
Yeah, I've got some trying to grow in my backyard.
Right. It's hard not to grow them. But Marshall Fauche is probably one of our premier grapes that we work with and are best known for in the valley. And we'll try that a little bit later. You're welcome to, take some. Wine grapes are super sweet. Sugar equals alcohol. So
no wonder why I like both.
Yeah. It makes a great syrup, but take a look at the seeds. It's another indicator of ripeness.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so when the seeds are green, the grapes are still usually too tart and not in balance. But these French American hybrids grow extremely easily here in the Northwest, and specifically here in the North Willamette Valley. We're on the fringe of this risk-reward, is it going to be a good vintage or not, kind of climate zone. We get more influence out of the gorge than, say, the Salem area does. And so
that cold wind can maybe...
It slows it down.
Yeah.
So for the grapes, one of the best characteristics of the region is the cool nights, warm days in the fall.
So we got that going on definitely today.
And this year, is another, turning out to be a fantastic year. The Marshall Fauche, being a French-American hybrid, doesn't require a lot of spraying, a lot of management, and it's very easy, like I said, easy to grow. But it allows us here in the valley to grow something that can achieve a medium to full-bodied red wine. We're not importing Syrah from outside of the region, or Malbec, or Cabernet Sauvignon, which are very common big reds. We grow what we make right here.
Well, one of the great things about this place, in addition to the local nature of what you do, is these grounds are absolutely amazing. And you guys are more than just a winery. You're a great event venue. In fact, we're right here. I kind of wanted to show off a little bit. We've got the Amphitheater, and Molly's going to pan off to these views, because quite frankly, this place is outstanding.
Thank you, yeah.
people come out here for the wines, obviously, but what are some of the other things that, some of the other events and what other reasons bring people out here?
Well, we have a great outdoor amphitheater set up here, and so throughout the summer and spring and early fall, we have a weekly yoga series each night. We do outdoor movies. We also have a stargazing party.
Oh, wow.
We do lots of nonprofit fundraisers, farm to table dinners, yeah, it's kind of like a big park that people can bring their dogs, their families. In fact, the neighbors down the street, there's a stable, Shiraz, give them a shout out, Shiraz Stables. They bring their horses out and ride through the vineyard. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm excited to share the entire story, but the property and the views, you know, driving down the road, you don't get this experience. You just come down, you know, 100 yards down the driveway, and it's like, you get this breathtaking view.
I mean, it's like I come out here and all of a sudden I swear to God, like I hear the Jurassic Park theme or something. It's just this beautiful, inspiring view that just makes your jaw drop. I mean, how often are you out here and, you know, working on the vineyard and just all of a sudden stop and just get dumbstruck by the beauty?
Well, you know, sunrise and sunset is often very beautiful and amazing. And Fourth of July doesn't disappoint either, because you can see Portland, Oregon City, Wilsonville, and Canby all from this view.
Wow!
So fireworks every direction. But you think you want to try some wine?
I think I can do that. Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So, well, let's head over towards the tasting room.
Now, you mentioned, you know, everything is estate grown, which is great, and you've got a lot of varieties that people know for. I mean, obviously, Oregon is known for our Pinot Noir.
Yeah.
Which, of course, you have.
Right.
We've got some Pinot Noir growing right there.
Right here to the left, we've got a Dijon clone called 114.
Okay.
That is a bigger, drier red Pinot Noir, but being North Willamette Valley, we're again just kind of on that fringe of the cold and warm temperate zone. So where a lot of the valley has already picked Pinot Noir, we're looking at picking next week.
As I say, I mean, it seems almost a little bit late, because I know, again, a lot of places have already harvested. So
there's a saying, not only in basketball, but in grape growing, called hang time. And so hang time is about, you know, achieving a balance in the wines. And that balance comes from acid, pH, and sugar. So allowing the grapes to achieve that balance on their own is, you know, the highest priority. Manipulating the vines to, you know, with sprays or other things to try to get them to ripen are less desirable. Sometimes you have to use those tools. But this is one of those years, and why vintage wine is so cherished, because it's a bit of a surprise every year, right?
That's the best kind of surprise out there, too. I think we've got a question from Facebook Land. Molly, what do they want to know?
Is this year's harvest similar to 2010 or 2011 due to the dry weather, and how will it affect the wines?
Sure. Well, I think it's more similar to 2014. We had a great, you know...
really contrasting, this really wet winter followed by a summer, right, just forgot it was Oregon.
Right. Well, and people say that, but it really is more of a classic Oregon climate, you know, where we do have extremely wet winters, lots of snow on the mountain, and a fair amount in the spring. After 4 or 5 years of drought, we are completely dry land farmed here. When we got to 2016 last year, the vines were really struggling.
Yeah.
So that shot of, you know, moisture through this last spring carried us all the way through the drought this summer.
Oh, wow.
And then it started raining just in time to ripen the grapes up. And now we're getting the perfect cycle of rain and sun to just slowly build those sugars up.
Yes, because I know, I mean, actually, you want a drier summer during the fruit growing season, because it actually helps concentrate the flavors, or otherwise you get just really kind of water-filled grapes that lose a lot of that spark.
Right. You know, the teeter-totter goes both ways with too much rain or not enough rain. Yeah. And so this is turning out to be one of the best. A lot of people will also ask about the forest fires and the smoke, but I hear from both sides, you know, in the industry, you know, it adds character. Here's my take, you know, they actually char the inside of the barrels, and all the red wines go into barrels.
Yeah.
You know, so that smoke is is kind of
You're getting
built
smoked
into-
somewhere either way.
Yeah. But I've had chefs tell me, we should, purposefully add some smoke into the vineyard to get some more of that character.
Now that's coming from people with palates far more distinguished than mine, far more discerning.
And apparently aren't writing the check to the insurance company, for lighting fires in the vineyard.
Well, what? Was this accident preventable? I don't know. I needed the fire,
Yeah.
We've got two varieties sitting on the table today, and I want us to talk about this Phoenix, because actually this was something I had never heard of. Now, while I don't know everything about wine, I was really surprised at a variety that I'd never heard of before. And this is a bit of a specialty. People are going to be hard-pressed to find this anywhere else but here.
It will be quite impossible. From my understanding, in Germany, there is less than something like, I'm going to say like 400 or 500 acres planted.
Wow.
But here in the U.S., as far as we know, there is only one other winery that is working with the Phoenix grape commercially. It, though, has some great lineage. It's actually a German hybrid grape. It's a cross between Villiers Blanc and Bacchus. Bacchus being, the Greek god of wine. Fabulous grape.
Good guy to go with.
Yeah. Villiers Blanc, though, was the Sauvignon Blanc of the 60s.
Oh, okay.
So this has very similar qualities to Sauvignon Blanc, which Sauvignon Blanc has become a very popular grape. And I personally really like it. It's a great pairing for anything, Pacific Northwest. Seafood, beef, pork, chicken. It's a fantastic pairing to just about everything. Being light and savory, and on the dry side versus too sweet and sometimes tart or sour. So to me, it has a very wonderful dry white peach note, and harkens me back to that. So growing up here on this farm, my grandparents, which used to live in this tasting room, used to can their own peaches, Oregon peaches also,
Nice.
So those Oregon peaches would get us through the whole winter. And my sisters and I, though, getting to the end of that jar of peaches, we would literally fight over who got to drink the peach juice. So, the wine reminds me of that in those days.
So now do you fight when you get to the bottom of the bottle, do you fight who gets that last glass?
Well,
Or you go to get another bottle.
Go and get another bottle, yeah. Well, without any further ado, shall we try that?
I'm definitely excited about that. So something new like that.
All right, this is a Phoenix.
All right. Ooh, wow, that smells amazing.
It even smells like peaches.
Yeah.
Walking through the vineyard about a month up until harvest, even smells like peaches.
Nice. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, wow. I cannot believe this stuff cannot be found more places.
Well,
that's amazing.
Production is a product of your presence in the marketplace, and so current production here on our estate winery and vineyard is about 1,000 cases a year.
Okay.
So we have a fast-growing wine club that is growing to appreciate the unique grapes and wines that we're growing, but more and more people from the region and outside of the region. We just got a call yesterday to schedule a reservation for a group that's coming from New Hampshire because they heard great things about our winery. So word travels fast.
Must be doing something right.
I feel like we are. Yeah.
Well, again, the farm's been going with the family for 75 years, doing grapes for 18. So I think that you've established yourselves.
We haven't given up yet. That's right.
That is outstanding. That is truly a unique, flavor. And again, if you're a wine lover, if you're an enophile and you're looking for something new, you got to come here to Kingsraven and try that Phoenix, because I don't know what ashes that bird rose from, but they were fantastic, because that is amazing.
Right. Yeah. Well, to expand on how we came to choose these grapes, one of the things when you first start into the industry is that's the decision you're going to make. What are we going to plant? So my mother actually worked at Westland High School for over 15 years, and a gal that she worked with, a Scandinavian gal, knew a guy out in Beaver Creek that was growing grapes co-op. So basically everybody pitches in to harvest and everybody gets a little bit of the wine. So my mom came back with that news after me telling her that I think we should, start growing grapes, Mom and Dad. And so on a whim one afternoon, we went to find him. His name was Lars Nordstrom, and it's at Pillion Vineyards, who we still have a long-term contract with, and but is who we turned us on to many of these hybrid grapes, and Phoenix being one of them. I personally really do like Sauvignon Blanc, but it's not the right region to grow Sauvignon Blanc. So in that, trying to pick which grape you want to plant, finding something comparable or close and meets these other desirable traits of easy to grow, sustainable farming, and on down the list, it helps us with our bigger goal of actually keeping this a farm and keeping it green.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. That's that it's a great mentality, and again, that sustainability. You want to have good wines, but you want to be able to have good wines forever.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to look at things and be good stewards of the earth that you're using to grow these grapes.
Well, and what better way than so my whole experience growing up was just Black Angus and making hay, which is a great way to actually farm the land, because it allows you to dry land operate. You don't have to irrigate.
Yeah.
And but the grapes themselves have that same, so swapping out the cattle for the grapes, we're able to dry land farm it. So very low input, what they call low input viticulture, where we are great. We feel like we are great stewards of the land, and hope to continue that on another 25, 50 to 100 years. From the Maréchal Foch, I also make some port, and my goal with our first port release will be to actually age it to 10 years.
Oh wow!
And but the idea is to make a barrel or two of port every year, and then the next generation will continue to manage, those, and with the idea that maybe we somehow a barrel of port that I start, becomes 100 years old or something.
Wow.
Like that.
Now that's a legacy.
Right.
So those Maréchal Foch grapes they use in the port. Also, you make just a Maréchal
We do
Foch.
make, yeah.
One of these times of the video, I'll get that right.
Right. How do you say Maréchal Foch?
Yeah. Maybe that should be just live video, just proper pronunciation. But you also make a Maréchal Foch wine.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and we do a classic French Burgundian barrel aging program. So all of our reds get a minimum of 24 to sometimes 36 months before we bottle them, and then we try to age them another year in the bottle before we sell them.
There's a lot of patience in winemaking. I think this is why I wouldn't be a good winemaker, because I'm like, I demand immediate gratification. I want this now.
Well, it is like the stock market. So you think about, I'm going to buy a little Intel now, and we'll see what happens in 10 years. But it's like that. The change and the churn of the world, though, and mass market, I feel is changing some of the consumer preferences. And wines are coming now to market at like 12 months, 14 months, sometimes even 6 to 8 months.
Wow.
But you would never buy a whiskey or a fine scotch or something like that if you found out it was only aged a year.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful that the people that are on that wine discovery path, which is so fun to explore, do find us and enjoy our wines, because they're ready to drink out of the bottle. A lot of times those younger wines that are released before they're ready, the winemakers will tell you, put this in your cellar and save it for 2 years, and you're thinking like, what? I got a barbecue this weekend.
What cellar? It's in my pantry. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So I think wine education, and hopefully maybe down the road we can connect together again. But wine education is a big piece that's missing. The internet is starting to help people find their favorite wines. But the good thing about it is there's a lot of choice.
Yeah.
So you just got to get out there and explore.
Well, as you said, good things come to those who wait, and so those reds are aging for a minimum of 24 months. So let's see what that one aging has done, because I love a good red wine.
Yeah. So this is the 2014 Maréchal Foch. It if you remember 2014, it was a great follow-up to the first premier really good vintage of 2012. after many cold or up and down cold and warm years. This actually spent, I want to say 30 months.
Wow.
In the barrel.
I mean, that's just got to be hard as an artist. I mean, because I mean, in all reality, making wine is an art. There's as much science as there is an art in it, and to have to wait that long to see what you've done come to fruition, forgive the pun, it's got to be really difficult.
You would think, but there's so many things to do, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm a one-man army, but each of us in the family wears a lot of hats, so you can't get bogged down with, you know, when is that wine going to be ready?
So you're not just standing there staring at the barrel, tapping your foot, going, "Dude, hurry up!"
You're I mean, you're waiting for a lot of things, but when you get into that rhythm, guess what's coming on at the end of the pipeline? There's always something that's already aged. So if you get started off on that foot of aging it to, you know, 2 or 3 years, everything's coming out the end of the pipe at the regular time. So you just have to make that commitment up front, and it's hard for a lot of businesses or wineries that are getting started because they need cash flow quick.
Yeah.
They and our advantage really here is that, you know,
you got a 75-year legacy and history to kind of count
in the land. No, it's no secret what's happening with the, you know, real estate market in Oregon, and the wine industry is a big part of that whole story, actually. But that's our biggest advantage. You know, so I think it is. Grandfather bought this in '41 for like $1,800.
Oh wow! Oh my God!
You know, it came with a horse and those kind of stories. You know, no indoor plumbing, but yeah, you know, here we are, 2017, 75 years later, and I'm happy to share with all of you.
Oh, again, cheers to Grandpa.
Hey, Grandpa.
2014 Marichal Foch. Hey, I got it right. Oh, yeah. That is just every bit of perfect.
Right down to, I feel like, you know, when you start chewing up those seeds in the black or Marion berries, that seedy tannin, it's all there.
But it's not too much tannin. It's just enough just to let you know you've got a good bold red, but because, you know, there's some where they kind of like kick you in the teeth.
Right.
This has got just that right balance of some tannins with that smooth fruitiness that really just complements each other well.
Hey, I really appreciate that. So our aim is to craft everyday drinkable wines.
I'd say this qualifies.
You know, so, and that it really seems to be a function of how much alcohol is in the end product. And I think the sweet spot really is about 12 to 12.5% for red wines. And so aiming for that, you get something that isn't too dry, because the more alcohol you get, think about it, alcohol is a very dry substance. Adds to that character that just, you know, it's...
You know, there needs to be a word for that. You know, I don't know how you spell that, but you couldn't describe it any better than that.
I don't recall who it was, but, you know, the bitter beer face comes to mind.
Yes.
And so it's encouraging to share our wines with people that, you know, want something for more than special occasions. Yeah. The region is, again, so full of such a wide variety, and I think our culture is now changing and accepting, you know, people aren't looking at alcohol in the same way they did, you know, 100 years ago. But historically, for centuries, alcohol, and specifically wine, has been a part of daily life. And there are many health benefits that have been attributed to wine. So
thank God.
So why not, you know, celebrate the region that we live in, and even if you're not from the region, come by and try these wonderful wines.
Well, that's a great segue. You can tell this guy has video background. How can people find you guys, both in person and online?
Sure. We're about 20 minutes south of Portland, just outside of Oregon City. But online, we're at kingsravenwinery.com. And we've got a great Facebook and Instagram and Twitter feed going. We keep a daily log pretty much of something and everything that's going, including the events. So I'd point you in those directions, but you can also reach us at 503-505-6873. as well as info, info at kingsravenwine.com.
What are the hours for the tasting room?
Sure, we're open pretty much every weekend, Friday through Sunday, 12 to 5, except for the major holidays of Christmas, and a couple others. But
and actually, with Thanksgiving coming up, I can't believe I'm saying this. That Thanksgiving is like a month and a half away.
I know.
And it's still February. I don't know how that happened. But you guys actually have some stuff going on around that time as well.
We do, and as a winemaker, you know, I think I look forward to Thanksgiving more than I do Christmas because it's around the clock this time of year. So it's kind of the first breathing point. But yeah, we have two great milestones in November. The weekend before Thanksgiving is actually our wine club pickup party.
Okay.
And new members that aren't currently members are welcome to come and join and sign up at the party, where we'll be releasing another new French American hybrid that we're bringing to market called Chelois. And this first release is only going to be 10 cases.
Oh, wow.
Only to the wine club.
So there's your incentive to join, folks. That alone should get you to sign up.
But but Thanksgiving historically for the region is a wine touring time of year, and we celebrate that as well. You know, for an agricultural-based company, it is feast or famine. You know, so the spring, summer, and fall months are definitely where we really, you know, get to interface with most of the public. But there's no reason to not come out and see us Thanksgiving through New Year's as well, and we're trying to change that by being open every weekend. But yeah, come down and see us for the wine club party or on Thanksgiving weekend. We'll be open both of those weekends and every weekend. It's there's no real bad reason to come out.
Yeah, honestly.
taste wine.
I mean, again, we're just 20 minutes outside of Portland, so if you live in the Portland area, I mean, this is in your own backyard. You know, you don't have to be going hours away to be trying wine. You can find some amazing stuff right here in your own backyard. We're just outside of Oregon City, and it is a truly beautiful piece of property. You guys have done an amazing job here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you, Jared.
It's been a great time.
My pleasure.
I'm going to hang around here, take some more pictures, and maybe sample a little more wine. Who knows? But you guys definitely want to check out Kings Raven Winery. Beautiful spot out here in Oregon City. Part of our wonderful agritourism products here in Mount Hood Territory. It's a beautiful area, and we'll hope you see us here soon. We'll be live again next week on Wednesday. I can't remember where. Molly, where are we next week?
Fur Point Farms.
Fur Point Farms, that's right. We're going to check out some awesome stuff going on there because, again, it's fall, it's harvest time, and where else can you find some great stuff but here in Mount Hood Territory? So we hope you'll join us next week, Wednesday at noon at Fur Point Farms. Until then, I'm Jared Lyman at Kings Raven Winery. Thanks for joining us.